Jump right in this morning. In studio, we have Mark Paddock. He is with South Central College. He's in charge of their carpentry program. By the way, Mark, and I don't know, I don't mean to throw you a curveball here, but do you know, did the South Central College receive a, what's it called, Techni Award?
Yes, they did. I heard you talk about it yesterday. I looked into it. Mechatronics won it for a distance learning model that delivers hands-on mechatronics education remotely. I had heard about it, but I didn't know much about it, and maybe I still don't, but that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think it is too.
They do a lot of different things in mechatronics. I know Doug Lavin works hard over there.
This is a term that's been recently invented, right? Mechatronics.
I heard it was about 40 years old. I heard
No kidding.
I heard Mike come down here and talk to you, and I got some information from him just to help me go out and sell it to high school students. And you know, the mechanical, electrical, robotics, fluid power, it's all been around for a long time.
So. Now I suppose when you think about it, that's what cars are.
Yep. So it's been out there a long time. Just new to the Faribault campus. Been over on North Mankato for quite a while.
Has it been burgeoning pretty good?
I think so. He's got a pretty good sized class over there, and for just being its first year on Faribault, that's pretty good.
Meanwhile, carpentry program is just being restarted.
Yes, it is. Pretty excited about it.
Has it been a challenge though, Mark?
Yeah, it's been a different challenge. We don't have any students right now. We just didn't get opened up in time, so I've been out recruiting, going to high schools, telling them about carpentry, but I don't expect everybody to want to come to carpentry, so I promote the rest of the college too, and my message a lot of times is for students just to have a plan for after high school and to be thinking about it. Sometimes they're not thinking about it as early as they should be.
Well, you know something? This is something that you wouldn't necessarily have to think about it as a career either.
Right.
I mean, you know, fix up jobs around the house,
oh, yeah.
all that. You could save yourself a lot of money if you knew how to do this stuff.
Oh, for sure. And build themselves a house. I built 2 houses for myself, and
there you go.
Everything that went along with it, so it's saved me bundles.
Yeah, we'll have to have you get in touch with John here. He's building a house here real soon. So.
All right. Always looking for a little extra time.
He might. I think he's building one on the lake somewhere. So you know. Anyway, Mechatronics wins the Techni Award. That's pretty cool. Now I don't know anything about the Techni Awards.
I don't either.
I understand they're pretty. And it's a pretty distinguished award to receive.
Yeah, I did. I got a hold of Doug Lavin yesterday and tried to find out Minnesota's their brightest technology users and developers in innovation, development, education, commercialization, and management. So it's a pretty wide spectrum there, and it gives students that access to college mechatronics programs anytime and anywhere, and they can do their hands-on remotely from any location. So that's pretty cool.
You were in charge of the program before it went dormant and had to be...
Well, I taught here for 12 years. There was 2 of us teaching. Mark Pilcher taught second year and I taught first year, and I was let go in 11. The economy was going down and students weren't coming, and so it was only closed for a couple of years.
But it is hard to resurrect something that's been dormant, isn't it?
I'm finding it out. It is. We just want people to know we're open again and ready to go for fall for sure. I've been out to 18 different high schools and done 28 classroom presentations, just trying to promote carpentry and the college in general. So, and the AA degree. You know, when people can come there and do half of a bachelor's degree and save a lot of money at our cost per credit versus MSU's or the University of Minnesota. So it's a lot of options available.
So even if you weren't to decide to do this as a career, it would be a nice little side job to have for you,
Oh,
right?
for sure. Yeah, mostly we're trying to produce carpenters.
Sure.
The industry's in dire need of carpenters. Everybody needs help. I got 12 guys on my advisory committee, and every one of them's looking for help. The union has even come down and talked to us about trying to get some of our students, and because they're hurting too. More people are retiring than are coming into the industry, so there's a big demand and wages are going up, and there's a lot of opportunities out there.
All right, we're going to talk more with Mark about that. Who knows, maybe we'll have to... Well, I'm probably too old for that. Anyway, we're going to talk to Mark more about the carpentry program out at South Central College. South Central College here in Faribault. In fact, when you started as an instructor there, Mark, Was that back in the old Faribault Technical College
No,
days?
it was well, yes, it was South Central Technical College back then, and then they changed it to South Central College.
Okay, so you've always been under the South Central umbrella, though?
Yep. I started in '99.
Because it's been a few different schools since I've been here. I came in 1987.
And when I was a student, it was the AVTI, Area Vocational Technical Institute.
Did you go to school there?
Yep, I'm a graduate of the program too.
Oh, cool.
So that gives me extra incentive to make sure that want to see the program succeed and get back on its feet where it belongs.
Well, I'm pretty confident it will.
I think
you're getting
so.
the word out.
Yeah, I've been from Rosemont to Blue Earth and all in between, so, and I'm going to New Prague next week and Owatonna the week after, and just wherever I can get a hold of a shop teacher, let me come into the class, I go out and promote.
And I would venture to guess you're getting some interest.
Oh, I think so. I give out the inquiry cards and have them fill them out if they want more interest on any of the programs, if it's auto body or civil engineering or whatever. And some of them are carpentry, and I give them to student services, and they take it from there. But
so what I wanted to touch on, Mark, if you don't mind, is I looked on your website, and it listed some of the things that you cover in your carpentry class.
Mm-hmm. We'll start out the year with 3 weeks of safety, which sounds like a long time, but we don't have students on Fridays. So it's Monday through Thursday. We'll go through all the tools in the shop, big and small, and dangerous and not, and they'll build some projects. And week 4 we'll get out on our first year project. We changed it back to what we've had done for years. The first year does the addition remodel, go out and build an addition on somebody's house, and second year we'll build a house from the ground up. So we went back to our old model. Things changed there for a little while, but we got back to a 2-year program. We'll do some print reading. It's really important to be able to read a blueprint. We're going to have some of the same classes, stairway technology, building a stairway. Everyone will build a model stairway and get some practical experience with rise and run and all the rules to the stairways. And interior finish, we call it, insulation, drywall, vapor barrier, all the stuff, good stuff carpenters are doing. Interior finish too is after the taper's done, hanging the doors, trimming the windows, putting on the base, mounting cabinets, installing cabinets and countertops. So it's putting that house all together. So it's a lot of hands-on, great experience for the students. We'll go to the exterior finish. It'll be siding. You know, in our first year addition, we want to match existing and make it look like it belongs there and match the siding and the slope of the roof and everything else and make it line up. So there's a lot to think about during remodeling.
That's for sure. Residential framing, that on there?
Yep. We have second year we'll build a house from the ground up. They'll actually pour all the footings and foundation and do the cement work. And one class we have new is commercial concepts. We've always been a residential program and will continue, but we're having a 2-credit class. We're going to go out and explore commercial construction. Just a lot different, you know, schools, hospitals, everything about it. Steel door frames, steel doors, closers, panic bars, steel studs. You can put steel studs in a residential home too on a non-bearing partition, but it's not done very often. But get those students used to that too. There's a lot of commercial work going on. Rochester, Mankato, the Metro, it's just busy everywhere.
Well, we were chatting before going on the air. You've got a local Metcon, I think you said, was looking at getting some more employees, and they're thinking about doing a little partnership with you guys.
Yes, they're offering to finance the second-year house project and supply all the materials, buy the lot, and actually want to pay the students $10 an hour to work on the second-year house project. So that's pretty exciting. The students may not see it right away, but it excites me. And Barb Embacher, the dean, we've had some meetings with Metcon, and we'll continue to talk with them. But that's exciting. They're in need of carpenters too, and they're just finding some more incentive to help out the program and help students and get carpenters back to the industry. So
well, you got to remember, well, you know, you used to build homes, and you know, you weren't making money on the homes. So
right, we never wanted to lose any money, but we weren't out to make tons of money either. We just wanted to try and break even and give the students some practical experience and move on. So
yeah, nothing more practical than actually building a home.
Right.
In fact, I know, for example, I'm just closer to this, that's why I know, it's Zabroda Mazeppa School District. They build a home every year.
didn't
When I
know
went
that.
to high school, I went to Spring Valley, and now they're Kingsland. But back in the day, we had a carpentry program in a high school that would build a home.
Yep, yep, there's a lot of them around. St. Peter does one. I'm going to Casson Manorville in December, and I think they build one. So that's helpful. That really gives them some jump start and gives them some good experience for when they get here.
And I would guess a lot of guys in that program, my best friend started out, he now lays carpet, but he used to be a construction worker before he decided to change careers a little bit.
Yeah, and there's so many avenues in construction. Carpet, floor coverings, cabinets, drywall, roofing, cement work, trim work. I mean, there's so many specialties people can go into also.
Yeah, just thinking when you're talking about the drywall and stuff, guys come in and when they had the addition on my house, that's what they specialized in.
Yep.
That's all they did. They
Yep.
had those babies up in no time.
Oh, they're quick. They're really good at what they do.
They certainly were.
Yeah.
It would have taken me, weeks to
Yeah,
try and
that's
do what they did in a day or two.
Part of construction and carpentry I like. It's always different. It's always something different every day. I worked for a contractor in Northfield, and we did everything, and that was fun for me to see a project from start to finish.
You would think it was the same thing every day, much like a factory job, but you're right, it's not.
Oh, it's different. Every day is different. I mean, one day we're building walls, and the next day we're setting floor trusses and more walls and roof trusses and windows and siding, and it's just different all the time.
And then when you drive by the place,
Absolutely.
you're as proud as a peacock
Absolutely.
because, hey, you were involved in building that.
That's part of my sell to students. At the end of the day, you can turn around and look back and, hey, we did all that today. You can see what you did. So it's a really satisfying feeling.
Now the website, your South Central College website, says the average annual wage for someone in the construction industry, and I don't know if this is entry level or not, Mark, is $46,696 in the state.
Could be. It really depends on where you go. I taught at Riverland last year, and we had a student go out at $15 an hour. First year student go out for the summer, and in a month he got a $2 raise. He was making 17. I got contractors calling right now. Starting wage is about $18 an hour, but I've had union guys call me and non-union, and they've got guys making $25 and $35 an hour. So it's with experience. The wages will go up. That's pretty close to starting pay.
And like in any other business, the metro is going to pay higher than downstate.
Yes.
It's just the way it is.
Yep.
Nationally, the average is $42,786. So in Minnesota, we're about $4,000 higher than the national average.
Yep. That's good.
Does that mean Minnesota's growing faster, or?
I don't know. That's a good question. It's even my advisory committee has said, we haven't grown as fast as we think it should be, and
Right.
part of it is just the lack of carpenters. My own committee member said, I'm not even bidding jobs right now because I just don't have the carpenters to build the projects.
Wow.
And
Speaks
I've
volumes.
seen that in articles people have sent me too. So that's another. I had one contractor call from Mankato, and he says, literally, Mark, I'm on my knees begging for carpenters, and he's just looking for help that much.
So if you get involved in the carpentry program, you're pretty much assured of getting a job.
For sure. There's so much work out there. I got contractors. I started a folder just since this fall of contractors calling me looking for help. And I know there's lots of people looking for help right now.
You might have a grandkid or a kid that's interested in carpentry. You might want to steer them South Central's way.
Absolutely. A lot of opportunities.
A 6% increase in need regionally and statewide, it says, over the next, I think they said next 15 years.
Wow. That's a lot of carpenters. The industry needs it. I mean, and we're there to help fill those needs. So.
Now, do you envision, Mark, or maybe you currently have this, I don't know, I guess, a continuing ed program for these carpenters too, so they can come back and refresh their skills, or do they need that? I mean, do they get it on the job enough that
Some of it they get on the job. Sometimes we have requests for blueprint classes, just to brush up skills, make sure people are up on where they need to be. Can't really build much if you can't read a blueprint. So, but
No.
Other than that, we don't have a lot of that, of the continuing ed.
Okay. So again, South Central College, Mark Paddock is our guest here this morning on our AM Minnesota program. We're talking about their construction program, their carpentry program, building program.
Yep, carpentry program.
At South Central College, and you have the program in Faribault, but there is no program in your North Mankato
Nope,
campus.
it's always been in Faribault, and I've had a lot of students come from the New Ulm, Mankato area, and some have asked, why isn't it in North Mankato? Well, it's just never been there. It's always been in Faribault, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing if it did, but it's kind of a cornerstone of this college. It's always been here, and
Yep.
we want to keep it here.
Yeah, I remember when I first moved to town in the late 80s, they had a very good diesel mechanics program here at one time, I know,
Yeah.
because I had a friend I graduated from high school with that went to school here for
Oh.
the diesel mechanics
Mhm.
program. Got
I
a
had-
really nice job in Rochester at one of the big diesel mechanics
Yeah.
places.
Right. We used to have a small engines class too, and I was just over in Sleepy Eye yesterday recruiting, and somebody asked me if we had a small engines program, and we don't anymore, but that was a lot of busyness going on over there when it was here.
So if there's a need, hopefully they'll see that need, and that's what the school's all about. I know when I visited with Dr. Parker, it wasn't too long after she was hired, this was a priority to get this carpentry program back up and running. So they obviously must have heard from some of the same people that are on your advisory committee.
Oh yeah, there was a big need. I know about a year ago they pulled 30-some contractors into the college and asked if there was a need for the program, and if there is, what classes need to be a part of it, and that really got the ball rolling and got the program going again.
Now, Mark, as you go out on your tours of high schools in the area, are you finding that schools by and large are still keeping their shop programs?
Most of them, when I made a circle around Faribault, an hour plus drive,
Sure.
and I find a high school and I look for an industrial technology teacher and I email them directly, and most of them are really willing, come on in, let's give the spiel and educate students on what opportunities are out there, and most of them are still hanging in there. I know I went to Montgomery and they have a new high school, and some of the students were letting me know that the shop space was smaller than it used to be and they weren't very happy about it, but it's expensive, and it's hard to satisfy everybody out there.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the key, is the expense involved in all this.
Yeah.
Same's true at the college too.
Oh, sure.
And, virtually everything's power tools now, right?
Right. Our shop space hasn't really changed. The college was completely remodeled, but the carpentry space is about the same. We're smaller than we used to be. Mechatronics moved in next door.
Right.
Happy to have them there, and they need their space, and we have some shared space, but we'll be able to make it with what we got for sure.
And I think we were chatting a little bit before going on the air. You were telling me that students can attend your carpentry program and very reasonably priced. In fact, you got some scholarships and
Oh yeah,
stuff.
there's a lot of scholarships available for carpentry students, from past instructors and businesses around town and the community who are giving them just for carpentry students. A lot of them average $1,000, so that's free money. You don't have to pay back. My only stipulation is we need to send that individual or company a thank you.
Of course.
And make them feel good. There's new scholarships came out just a week or two ago from financial aid. Pretty exciting stuff too. Not that this is going to excite the students, but there's a new stuff for 2-year programs in high demand occupations where we all fall on the Faribault campus there. The grant will cover any remaining tuition and general fees charged after the student's federal Pell Grant and Minnesota grant have been applied. So it's going to pay for almost their entire 2-year education. So that's pretty exciting.
No debt.
Almost none. There's a couple stipulations in there. It won't cover fees or tools, but for the most part, it's going to cover most of their 2 years in college, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and then if you get this agreement, with Metcon and $10 an hour.
Sure.
While you're going to school and get paid.
And
while
get
you're going
paid to
school.
work and learn and go to school and have fun. So it's a win-win for all kinds of people.
Ideally, I know you wanted to be up and running by now, but what's the goal now, Mark?
Well, Barb had wanted me to have students for January start, and I'd be up for that too. I don't know where I'm going to get those students. I've been out to workforce centers, Veterans Affairs, hanging up posters and
Sure.
talking to people. there's interest for fall, but I don't know if I have anything for January or not. So maybe I'll just keep recruiting for the rest of the year and promoting the college and staying on that track.
Well, is January a downtime of the construction
It's
industry? I mean, wouldn't you think that would be a perfect time to enroll in a class?
maybe it won't be high school students. You know, they're not done yet.
Right.
But the economy is improving and jobs are more plentiful out there. But I'm sure hoping for fall that we'll get a full class.
Although I see a lot more building now in winter than I used to.
Yeah, it's a year-round thing. I know back when I first started, people thought it was a half a year and have a half a year off, and it's not like that. I worked in Northfield for Steve Schmidt, and we worked around the clock, around the year. I never really had a day off due to lack of work. We
Right.
worked all winter long.
Yeah. I'm thinking, well, I guess now that I think about it, this friend I'm thinking about he was on the MnDOT crew.
Oh.
So, you know, he'd be laid off for a few
Yeah.
months. Every year he'd have
Yeah.
a few months off. And then he'd go back to work.
Right.
That's an entirely different thing, obviously.
That highway construction they can't do when it's froze, but
No. Well, isn't it amazing? We can land, we've got pictures from Mars that are phenomenal, of the galaxy that are phenomenal, and we can't make a road that doesn't have potholes.
good old Frost.
It just never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen some changes in building too over the years, right?
Oh,
From
yeah,
when you
for
started.
sure. Look, yeah, things have changed a lot. You know, we build houses so tight to keep the cold out, but yet we have to ventilate them better, and mold was a big issue for a few years for a while, and make sure we're not trapping moisture anywhere. So there's a lot of changes have happened, and things are always changing.
Well, and then this year we've got, oh shoot, now it's escaping me, the gas. We're a hotbed for the,
Oh, the oil.
I'm having a brain lapse here. We used to have them come in and talk about the picoliters per,
Oh, radon.
yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's a big thing right now, and changes, all the codes have changed with that to make sure we got the radon out of the house. And I mean, back when I started, I did hear about it one time, but it was so new, we
Right.
didn't know what to think about it. But that's definitely something we need to think about and equip the homes for and make sure they're safe.
Yeah, and we're a hotbed of it here
Yep,
because of our bluffs, I guess.
yep, and I taught in St. Cloud for a couple of years, and it was high up there too. I don't know if it was the granite in the ground, I'm not saying it was, I don't know, but I
Right.
mean, we had to deal with it up there too.
So those are some of the things that have changed over the years in the building industry. So ideally, you'd like to get a class going ASAP. People just call you, Mark, if they want more
They
details.
should, call the college. I'm on the website. Student services might be their first place to ask, and we'd be looking for January starts, and if we can get enough to get a class rolling.
Do you prefer teaching over working in the construction trades? Because it sounds like you enjoyed working.
I
mean, in the
enjoy
construction.
both of it. I mean, I still will do carpentry work in the summer just because I enjoy it. I enjoyed being a carpenter, and then when the teaching opportunity came, I went after it, and it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy working with the students, and sometimes you get that light bulb moment where they really understand, oh, that's why we did that, and that's really satisfying. And it's fun to see students get jobs and be successful, and occasionally they'll come back and visit at the shop there in my office, and it's just fun to see them. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, fantastic. And I suppose the whole age, too, you mentioned there probably won't be high school students in January, but I mean, at South Central, you've got all ages
Oh, yeah.
going to school.
For sure. I've experienced that up in St. Cloud too. We've had homeschool students that were like 16, 17, and I had some guys that were retired and came back to learn carpentry. So it's really fun to have a range of ages in a particular classroom too.
Actually, the more I think about it, the more I think it's not a bad idea to, even if you're not thinking about it as an industry, just go and learn something, especially
Yeah.
the safety aspect.
Yeah, though safety's got to be front and center, and you know, on the job sites, safety's number one. Just it's a lot of work to keep up with all the safety rules too, and keep everybody safe.
Powerful tools.
Yeah, and fall protection's big, and ladder safety, scaffold safety, falls. It's just a lot to think about.
A friend of mine was pumping up a semi-tire once and blew his thumb off.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's the kind of power we're talking about, you know,
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. Yeah, tools are dangerous. They're a lot of fun. I don't want students to be scared of them, but I want them to respect them and use them properly, and we'll have a good day.
You know, the ear protection, eye
for
protection.
sure. Hard hats, we wear the safety vests when needed. When someone's working above your head, we have hard hats on, and safety glasses all the time. They just, if you're either on the job site or out in the shop, you got your safety glasses on.
If you get in the habit of it, it's just second nature,
Oh,
right?
for sure. You don't even realize you have them on. And the safety vest, the same thing. It's not causing you to be too hot or anything. It's just a safety issue. We want everyone to be safe.
So again, in summary, basically, the 2 years can be paid for.
We're very close. Very close. I don't want to say more than I should about that financial aid, but I talked to Jane there at school, and she was pretty excited about this new financial aid grants that are available. She was pretty excited. So it is exciting that they can almost have everything paid for.
So no debt or very little debt when you get out of school. That alone is a great selling point, I think.
And there's so many opportunities and jobs, and the wages are going up, and the union too, you know, they're looking for people, and people are retiring, and they want their young guys to move into management positions, and they're just, the opportunities are all over the place.
Well, if this is a starting wage, to start at just under $50,000 a year is pretty doggone good.
That's really good.
I mean, I can tell you that's not the case in this industry. So that's just all I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Mark, for coming in. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having me. It's fun to be down here and talk about the carpentry program.
You bet. I hope a lot of people take advantage of that. So you are going to build a house now. That's the second.
Yep. First year I'll do the addition remodel, and the second year I'll build a house from the ground up. So 2 years of hands-on experience.
Okay. That's the deal, folks. Get more details at South Central College. They have a really informative website, southcentral.edu. southcentral.edu. Congratulations to the mechatronics program, too, for that Techni Award. That's pretty cool. That concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota. On Monday, we'll have folks in from the Paradise Center for the Arts. Tuesday, we're going to be talking about saving for college. How appropriate is that? That's on Tuesday's AM Minnesota show. Have yourselves a super weekend. I'm Gordy Kosfeld. That's AM Minnesota.